Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Chris with the C. Hope you're all doing well. Right, okay, so we recapped on the car, everything's all sorted, we've gone through bags. I think it's I2, let's have a look, I2, I to L now, so we're up on bag L. So the problem I've got here at the moment, one thing to mention is I was hoping to have the speed controller, e.g. the ESC, all fitted and all the wiring channeled. Now, unfortunately, AliExpress, I was meant to come today. It hasn't actually turned up, so I'm hoping it's going to turn up tomorrow. Because really, I'm in the hands of the gods here. What I wanted to do was essentially get all the wiring channeled and put through to the receiver box. One thing to mention, I have installed my Radiolink RF4MG receiver. Alright, so I will have a gyro available to me, and it's going to be working on the faster protocol on my handset, on my RC8X, so it should be nice and snappy to control. I am going to obviously have to loosen off the motor mount, take the drive shaft out and the spur gear to actually get it sorted, but it is what it is. There's not much I can do about it. In the meantime, what we're going to do is work on the shocks. Now, this is bag L, guys, okay? So in the manual, it's shock work. Now, I've read through the instructions a few times, and there was one thing that kind of popped out to me, and I was quite surprised a little bit by it, was the shock caps. They tell you to use a 1/16 drill bit, or I think it works out at 1.6mm. I'm not sure why they would do that, really. Well, why not just make the holes in the shock caps anyway? It is what it is. I'm going to have to find a drill bit that fits. Because I do want to use the emulsion style shock caps, obviously, because there is a way of actually doing that. All the instructions on page 21 tell you how to actually get all the air out of the shocks and it to work properly. So I'm a bit confused why they never put the hole in the shock cap, but there you go. So by the looks on things, front is going with 700k and the rear, and so again I'm building stock spec. I'm going to go with 600 in the rear. The reason why I'm going stock spec is I'll use a car, judge it and see how it feels, and if I need to make any changes I'll do that later on. But I think Tekno will be pretty good. I mean, let's be honest, guys, we've got enough people racing them and also people testing them. I've got a feeling the stock setup will be absolutely perfect for someone like me. We've got no issues with that. Right, pause the camera. We'll get the bag L ready to rock and roll, and yeah, we'll start building shocks. Right, okay guys, so what we're going to do now is, obviously, I've just worked it out that actually bag L and bag M are front and rear shocks, so we'll probably work through the two bags in this video. And then all that's left then essentially is the body mount and the bumper. So quite excited, we're heading towards the end of the build. And it hasn't actually been that long-winded, to be honest. I thought it would actually take a lot longer than this. Now, yeah, right, some people might find it a little bit more awkward to do so. I have built kits in the past. But quite honestly, as long as you read through the instructions, take your time. If you see anything that doesn't really kind of work out in your head, just refer back to the instructions and you will understand it a little bit better. Shock caps, let me just check. No, so they haven't actually drilled it. It's weird that. Okay, so in here we do have, let's do the usual sorting the bag out. Shock caps. So they give you a hole to use. Yeah, it doesn't actually. It's a bit weird that they've done that, but there you go. That it is what it is. Put all the shock caps in one place. These are the shock collars and retainers. So again, make sure you got a set of side cutters with you, because it does look like they're going to need trimming. Lower collars. What else we got here? Some bushings, some lower collars. Yeah, pretty much the same thing right the way through. Does give you some little screws to put in, so I can put them by there. and I will go and have a look for a 1.6mm screw in a moment as well. Okay, that's all in there. Yeah, okay, so all the plastic parts are put over there. Shock shafts. Whoop, hang on. So in this bag now you've got shock shafts, and it looks like the pistons, some pivot balls. Now, Tekno, guys, I don't know if you know, what they actually do is give you two of the same screws for mounting your shocks. One is clockwise and one is anti-clockwise, right? And how you actually know this is because one screw will be silver, the other screw will be black. Identical screws, but obviously it will tell you which one to use in the manual, and I think it says by here, no, black screw is right hand threaded and it goes on the left of the car. Silver screw is left hand threaded and goes on the right hand side of the car. So obviously one is lefty loosey, one is righty tighty, but obviously it's to stop the shocks coming off. So opposite threads. Alright, some pivot balls, some retainers. Now what I will do, guys, is not bore the pants out you by going right the way through this. I'll build one and then I'll build all the rest off camera and I'll show you. But and then this bag is, oh look, shock bodies, very nicely machined actually. I think they're titanium coated as well, so obviously that'll help with the movement of the shock. Some shock boots. Some shock springs, and then we got O-rings in one pack. So these are the front springs. Now they colour code them. I noticed that actually, because in bag M there was a yellow on the, so the front are what they call reds. So there'll be different spring compression rates. Alright. Okay. I tell you what I might do actually is not to make this video too long. I might build up the assembly and then talk to you after it. I'll do it on a time lapse. That way then you get to still see what I'm doing as I'm building it. I'm trying not to make the videos too long. I know that the first couple were quite in depth, but that's only because we were building diffs. Yeah, time lapse. Right, welcome back, guys. Okay, so as you can see, we have got the shock together. It reminded me actually, to be honest with you, how much I actually hate building shocks. Things to mention, what they tell you to use green slime or a little bit of oil. What I actually normally use, guys, is just get myself a little bit of thicker differential oil and actually just use it as a lubricant. I put a little bit on by here, and then O-rings and stuff I dip in there, and all that is to help the movement basically as you're putting it together. Already the shocks are nice and soft and easy to use. Make sure you're not damaging the shock shaft, obviously, because as soon as you do that, guys, all your shock movement is out the window. You can build the best shocks in the world, you damage your shock shaft and yeah, it all goes to pot. 700k is what the kit's recommending. That's what we're going to be putting in. Now, I mentioned about the emulsion style caps earlier. Now I know you're not going to be able to see this a sec, but there's most tiniest of tiny screws in there. Turns out Tekno did actually drill them, so I'm not sure why they're saying on their instructions to drill them out. But there you go. The good news is we can use the emulsion style shock. So let's top it up. And it tells you to go, let's have a look. Literally to the top, guys. Top of the reservoir. And then once you do that is basically, I'm going to let the bubbles settle a second anyway. And I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, so just reading the instructions for shock filling. Quite specific actually, to be honest with you. It says, put the O-ring in the shock cap. Yeah, no worries, we've done that. Then it says to fill up with oil, pump up and down 3 to 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5-3 full strokes of the shock movement. Then screw on cap. Right, okay, that we can do. Like so. And then, what's it say then? Push shaft up to bleed out air. Okay, we'll do that. Right, so bleed out air. Then insert the screw. So I tell you what, I didn't get the screw ready, did I? Looks like it's these little O-rings here. So they are very, very tiny O-rings, guys, and they just about, well, to be honest with you, I thought I'd lost them. As you can see, very, very minute. Looks like a black dot. So put them, and they're a 1.5mm screw. Very, very hard to get on as well. There you go. Right, okay. So 1.5mm, and then push the shock shaft all the way up to the top like they told me to, and then put in your screw. Don't over tighten, obviously. Then it says pump up and down 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right, then pull shaft down, then remove screw to let out any air. Okay, push shaft up to bleed any air out, and then screw it back down again. As I say, very specific way of doing it, but we're literally going by the kit. If there's any other tips out there for doing this, let me know in the comments, guys. For any of you Tekno guys watching the video. Okay, don't over tighten it, and we should have some really nice shock movement now. Seems good to me. Okay, that's one. Okay, now I know what I'm doing. I'm going to put you on a time lapse and go.
Sit with you like done no care. Selective. Everything I do selective. Everywhere I go selective. I get the info, yes, detective. If I chill with you and I build a you like done no year. Selective. If I eat with you and I sit with you like done no year. Selective. Come on.
Right, so welcome back. Shocks are all done, and I gotta say they do feel really, really nice. So it's now telling me to put them onto the car. So I just need to put my shock guide through the top of the shock. Quite an easy way actually of installing them onto the car. And it also says to put the retainer screw on the outside. All right, so we're looking at. Let's put this in the hole there. Now make sure you follow the shock positioning guide. So it says, let's have a look. There is a load of information at the bottom here in red, read it. So, the silver screw is for the right hand side of the car. Stock position is the front inside hole on the tower, okay, which we've done that, and inside hole on the arm, which is this one here. And the silver screw is, let me get this right now. Silver screw is left hand threaded and goes onto the right hand side of the car. So apparently it's left hand threaded. You feel it to start the bike actually. What I'll actually do then is stop the shocks from coming undone. And this is part of the why I said about they've thought about everything, because on most cars they're just the same. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, but on this you actually get one that is opposite threaded to make sure that it doesn't come out while you bash in. Pretty cool idea actually. I don't know why some manufacturers don't do that. I think Habao do it on some cars. And then my shock cap on. So there you go guys, sat in the car. And the movement is absolutely gorgeous. Really, really nice. Right, okay. On the other side. Remember, obviously, it's the other way around. Righty tighty. This is on the left hand side of the car. Definitely starting to look like a vehicle now, guys, eh? So close to finishing up this build. I'm just waiting for that ESC, you know. It does look like I'm going to have to do that after, which was a bit of a pain in the backside. I was hoping to have had my ESC delivered yesterday, but it is what it is. Then they said they were going to deliver it today. Today being Sunday, so someone's having a nice lie in. Which, it is Sunday, I suppose. And that's the right hand side done as well. It's sounding like there's still a little bit of air in there, mine, so I might actually change that up. Yeah, pause the video, guys. I'm going to put you back on time lapse, carry on working with the rear shocks, and then we're pretty much done with bag M and L. But yeah, all coming together quite nicely now, as you can see. See you in a sec. Right guys, so shocks are all on the car, as you can see. Everything's all set properly. I did use a set of calipers to adjust the ride height equally on each side. A couple of things to mention. Now I did forget an O-ring on the bottom of the shock collar, but it was easy enough. I just slid that up over the shock shaft and then underneath the shock boot. But overall the fit and finish is absolutely stunning. Remember, black springs with the yellow tab on the rear, silver springs with the red tab on the front. Other than that, she's golden. Right, I'm going to move on now to bag N, alright, which is your body posts, and then all we've got is a wheelie bar, and then we're done, guys. So I'm going to time lapse you on that one. There's nothing really to talk about on that part where I'm fitting them. You can watch me doing it as I'm going along, and then it's time to put the wheels on the car and let it stand on its own 2 feet. I'll see you in a second. Right guys, so all together, front bumper is on, rear bumper is on. Little upgrade for you. Now I've got a friend called Martin Price. He's going to have great fun in basically enjoying this. So I'm actually using my first little upgrade. Instead of using the plastic bushings, guys, I'm using some DR8 bearings in the rear wheels. They're 5x16x8 bearings, I believe, if I've got that right. I will check. I will put a link in the description. But now we've actually got ball raced wheelie bars. So they actually come with these plastic bushings, and that's not good enough, so we put some bearings in. Next step, guys, I'm going to pause the video 2 seconds. We're going to put the wheels on, and we finally have the car on its wheels.